Beautiful shot. When you see that sail come out, just a beautiful, beautiful shot of these sailboats here. Now, when you have the spinnaker, obviously you've got the wind behind you. You're going to gain a lot more speed from it as well. And I think from a visual standpoint, like I said, when you see that spinnaker out there, I mean, so many people have different patterns out there, and just a beautiful sail to see from a great distance.
If you take a look at the yacht race, one of the most beautiful things you can see is having maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 boats out there, with all of their spinnakers up. I know there's another race in Korea, it's Admiral East Cup, where they have about 100 boats, and they generally have a spinnaker start. They have two classes, and maybe each class is about 50 boats. And when they have all their spinnakers up and start, it's a beautiful sight. Here today in Yongyun Harbor, or Bay, we see all the spinnakers up with the lead boats. And when all these boats turn this mark, the second mark, they all put their spinnakers up. And it just creates a lovely painting, so to speak, of the ocean. In fact, a lot of painters, when they paint a seascape, they would like to put up a sailboat with their spinnaker up or beautiful sails up.
Absolutely a beautiful sight to see. Here is the Sexy Busan, the lead boat approaching the third marker. As the third marker of the M-shaped course, it's going to be taking a right turn here, so to say, and heading back to the northwestern side. And then it will have basically just one more buoy to negotiate.
Well, because the winds are so light, it seems like everyone's so relaxed. When I saw the Sexy Busan crew, I think they were having a picnic.
Boats from all different countries here, roughly 10 countries represented, and a Korean boat in the lead here as the Sexy Busan.
Sexy Busan is an IMS 46, and it's a new boat that just came on the scene. I believe their first real big race was Admiral East Cup last year, and everyone was amazed to see the boat. So beautiful and big like that, and very fast, of course.
What are the differences that make a good sailor or a good skipper? For instance, if you have the best boat, but you don't know how to sail, are you going to be able to beat someone that has a lesser boat but is an excellent sailor?
That sounds like me. But I think, of course, each boat has a rating. Unlike golf, where the player gets a handicap rating, in sailing it's the boat that gets the rating. And so given the boat and given the weather conditions, the wind conditions, if you can sail wisely, if you can do everything right, you have the opportunity to beat almost any boat on handicap. And of course, if you sail in a fleet race where, one design race where all the boats are the same, then you have to be the first across the line. But in a fleet race where handicap is applied like today's race, as long as you can sail to your handicap, almost like in golf, you are assured of a good placing, maybe on the podium.
What are some of the things that might give you a handicap? What gives a boat a handicap?
Well, the weight of the boat or displacement, the size of the sails, the beam of the boat, the width of the boat, and a lot of other things are taken into consideration. It's rather a scientific way of predicting the velocity of a boat, and that's what the ORC club rating does. The PHRS rating system also applies some of the same principles, but between the two rating systems, ORC is more scientific. I'm sorry. One of the things that I should mention is that for the ratings, no matter what rating system you're working under, one of the most important factors is the length at waterline, the boat's length as it touches the water. The longer the length of waterline, the faster the boat upwind.
And here is our lead boat. The Sexy Busan continues to lead this race. In races like this, if you're in the lead at the beginning, does it generally mean that you'll win in the end, or what sort of factors might play into allowing a boat from behind to be able to catch a boat in front of it?
Well, again, we have the handicap rating system, so that as long as you sail up to your handicap's predicted abilities, then there is a chance that you could always beat a faster boat. And so boats sailing behind Sexy Busan don't need to lose heart. They still have a chance. I think as long as they make the wise decisions on where to jibe, where to tack the boats, and to see where the wind is along the race course. And looks like here Sexy Busan has caught the wind. They got a real good breeze here going for them. They picked up a lot of speed here. So as long as you can do all of those and then more, then there's a good chance that you can be on the podium.
In auto racing, a lot of times cars will sneak up behind a car in order to drag, to basically make yourself more efficient, aerodynamic, get less wind drag. In sailing, does it work the same way? Is it opposite, or does it matter at all?
It's the opposite, exactly the opposite. You don't want to be stuck behind a boat. You want to get away, you want to tack away from the lead boat if you're really close to that boat, because they rob your sails of wind. Also, when you're sailing downwind with your spinnaker up, if you pass the boat, lead boat, say at its corner, back corner, you can rob the wind from that big spinnaker. In fact, that's beginning to happen here with Time Machine right behind this lead boat here. As it's going past, you will see
Time Machine passing the Gust.
Yeah.
That is the Gust we see, the dark blue boat. Yeah. Time Machine on the inside of it.
Yeah, they'll pass because they are robbing the first boat of a lot of wind by going in this at this angle. Look at the spinnaker dying of the lead boat.
Now, generally speaking, if you're the Gust and you're the one being robbed, is it to the? Are you going to literally get angry, or is this something where you understand that that's what I would have done too?
Well, that's part of racing, and looks like Time Machine is going after the boat right ahead too, in the same way. They can pick up a bit more speed compared to the boats they're robbing the wind from, and pass boats like that. Time Machine is doing a good job here. The lead boat, when you know that some boat with a big spinnaker is coming on your tail end and they're going to rob your sails of wind, then you have two choices. You can just keep going. As long as it's a short course, short leg, you might just as well just go straight ahead. But if it's a long course, they might jibe away. In other words, go in a different direction, say 90 degrees or say 100 degrees in another direction to move away from that possibility.
And of course, that decision by the skipper being ever so important. As we take a look at the Diva, this is still the leader in the open class.
They're doing a great job.
As they are currently, I believe, in second place overall.
Oh, the time looks like Sexy Busan has lost a lot of ground here. Looks like Time Machine has caught up quite a bit. And it looks, it's the red sail Diva, I think, right?
Yes. And
Diva's doing really well too.
Yeah, there's first there as well, the green boat to the right. So a lot of boats catching the Sexy. Remember, the Sexy Busan was off to a tremendous lead, especially on that first leg. But as we've hit this backside, a lot of boats trying to catch the Sexy Busan, and you can see that they're going in different directions right now.
Yeah.
As they approach the final buoy, and the Sexy Busan, once it makes this left turn, it is down the home stretch.
Now, the boat in second place has made up a lot of ground. It's the boat called First. That's a Beneteau 40.7. That boat has a very favorable rating. And so if it keeps on sailing at this rate, and maybe even catching up a little bit to Sexy Busan, I'm sure they can beat Sexy Busan on handicap.
This should be an interesting race down the finish. Handicaps playing into factor as well. Here is the Sexy Busan making that final turn. Let's take a look at the buoy. There it is, as it's going to make this left turn, and this is going to be it to the finish line after this.
I think they're too relaxed looking. They should get a little bit nervous here. They got all these boats coming at them.
Now the Sexy Busan making a very wide turn. You can see the other boats making the turn right now. The Sexy Busan deciding to take a very wide turn. It's past that marker by almost 100 meters, it appears.
I don't know why they did that.
The wind is, once again, coming from the east.
I think maybe with all the big spinnakers up and following Sexy Busan wanted to just get away from all of the sails.
And this might allow some of these other boats to catch it. You can see the first is the green boat there. Sexy Busan, as we take a look, they were the one furthest on the left side. There's the first you see right now. This is going to be an interesting race.
Very interesting race. Right now, first is in a very good position to win on handicap. Beneteau 40.7 has a very good rating, as I said, and that boat used to win a lot of races in Korea. Then the boat was sold to a Russian team some time ago. They changed the name from the Korean name that was to First.
Here is the Time Machine. They've been in this race a few times before.
Oh yes, they have done really well in this race and other races in Korea. But today they're not having as good a time as in the past.
Let's take a look at the race course. So we're going against the wind down the start. As you see the little M shape around the double peaks, they've just made the final turn and are coming down the home stretch right now. Should finish probably in the next few minutes here.
A few hundred meters remaining.
This is going to be a very exciting finish here for the 2011 Korea Cup International Yacht Race.
Will it be the perennial Russians who will win, or is it the Sexy Busan? Well, right now, it looks good for the Russians.
And once again, a curious point as the Sexy Busan took a very wide turn. They were in first place by a considerable amount, but around the last buoy, they overpassed it by a good 20-30 meters at least. And we'll see how that plays into a factor. Here is the Sexy Busan on the left here, coming into your screen.
Oh, wow, look at this. Is that Diva right behind?
Diva, the leader in the open class.
That's amazing that Diva could stay up with Sexy Busan. That's good sailing.
Sexy Busan appears to still have a slight edge in the lead. And it looks like it will cross the finish line in first.
It is now crossing the finish line. Okay, they are in first in real time, but I think they'll have a difficult time winning first on handicap.
So Sexy Busan, by perhaps a couple of boat lengths, finishes in first in the ORC class.
It looks like about 5 or 6 boat lengths. Tiburon is doing really well. That yellow hull, they've done really well.
Looks like they might be able to sneak in there in second. It's between Tiburon and first. Diva right there as well. We'll see if the Time Machine has an opportunity to sneak in, as the race for second place is going to be very interesting. Tiburon, it looks like, has come second, followed by, I believe, Diva. But of course, this will all be determined by handicaps afterwards. But for the time being, Busan has crossed the finish line first. Tiburon has crossed the finish line second.
Okay, Time Machine and First are crossing at almost the same time now. Time Machine has a much higher rating than First. So it looks like First has won this race on handicap. That's my prediction right now.
Boats are just crossing the finish line right now in the 2011 Korea Cup International Yacht Race. This is the inshore portion of the race, which will be continuing on for a few days, including an offshore race to the Dokdo Islands and back into Pohang.
And while the offshore races are taking place to Ulong Island and to Dokdo and then back to Pohang, on June 4, 5, and 6, they will have inshore races in Pohang called Pohangup. That's another race that's under the umbrella or the auspices of the Korea Cup.
Well, the race is just finishing up here. As mentioned, it is the Sexy Busan which has crossed the finish line first. Tiburon crossing the finish line second as we take a look at the ladder boats coming in as well. Here is the Carrera. That is a Russian boat as well. They've been in this race a few times also.
Yes. Again, the Russians have done really well.
Sexy Busan waving.
They take first in real time.
Certainly have to be pleased with the results so far. They got off to such a big lead off that opening leg and making a wide turn along the final stretch. And as we take a look at the crew, a camera on the head cam as well, looking to take some pictures during this voyage.
And then we see the slower boats straddling in now. It's going to be probably another 10 to 20 minutes before all of the boats finish.
What is generally more difficult or enjoyable between an inshore race and an offshore race?
Well, it just depends on whether you like adventure or not, whether you can put up with seasickness for the next several days, and whether you don't get too afraid about sailing over through 5 or 6 meter waves in the middle of the night in the dark. If you like that kind of experience, then you can do the offshore race. But if you want nice, calm sea conditions, then it's the inshore race.
All right, we just saw the backdrop of Pohang. Of course, Pohang is a steel town in Korea. Going for their steel over there. Here's the Venus finding its way in. So as we slowly finish up the race results here, the Sexy Busan crossing the finish line in first place, as the Tiburon crosses slowly behind it. The Diva crossing the finish line first for the open class as they take that race. This has been the 2011 Korea Cup International Yacht Race. My name is Jason Lee. I'm with Shim Young-sik, and keeping in mind that this is the inshore race, there is going to be an offshore race over the next couple of days, as well as boats will be going from Pohang here out towards Ulongdo. They will parade across back to Dokdo, which is right next to there. A big reason for the Korea Cup taking place at all, and then they're going to find their way back from Dokdo all the way back to Pohang. There are going to be races in various stop points as well. So, if you have some time and you're able to make it out to the east side of Korea, then perhaps why not take in some of the races, take a look at these beautiful boats, and also perhaps take a trip out to Dokdo and Ulongdo to be able to see some of the beauty that Korea has to offer.
Yes, there will be about 30 boats in Pohang racing for the next 3 days now.
All right, well, this has been the 2011 Korea Cup International Yacht Race. Jason Lee, along with Shim Young-sik, saying this is going to be a great opportunity for you to go out and take a look at some great sailing going on. This, of course, is on the east side of Korea. Today's race taking place in Pohang, but it will be moving out to Ulongdo over the next couple of days. Taking a look at our finishes, the Sexy Busan in first, Tiburon in second, and first, actually, in third. In terms of crossing the finish line, there, of course, will be some changes to those finishes based on handicaps that will be implied after the race is complete.
Of the top boats that have just finished, looks like first is sitting in really good place to finish first overall in handicap. The open class, I think Diva has done really well, but it depends on when the rest of the boats finish. There may be some boats out there with a very, very low handicap, and they may straggle in later on, but as long as they can sail up to their handicap, they have a chance.
It's kind of, I guess anticlimactic, but in sailing, it's one of the factors in an open race like this, or an ORC race, is that, you might not find out some of the results, of the official results, so to say. But for the time being, our results is that Sexy Busan comes in first place, Tiburon in second, and first finishing in third place. This has been the 2011 Korea Cup International Yacht Race. Jason Lee and Shin Young-shik saying goodbye.